let's teach them how to be friends with people and disagree with them at the same time. That used to be what we did. Right, in light of the Ann Whitcomb murder, I cannot believe the level of violent and disgusting language that's coming from the left. Now, you would think that someone's been murdered, an old lady bludgeoned to death in her own home, would have our nation and everybody in disbelief and not saying anything about Ann Whitcomb, but just understanding that the nature of her death was brutal and awful. And nothing needs to be said right now. I mean, read the room. Leftists, read the room. Nothing needs to be said about her beliefs right now. This is about a woman who was bludgeoned to death in her own home, and it was politically motivated. I know the police haven't come out and said it yet, but the terrorism police are, investigating it now, so it looks like it was politically motivated. But the left are just the most intolerant, disgusting, vile, and I'm on about the far left now, because there are left-leaning people that are decent, but the ones that have come out on social media talking about Ann Whitcomb, it's just disgusting and appalling. Now, if this had happened to Keir Starmer or Angela Rayner, right, I would be appalled and disgusted. And I'd be saying the exact same thing. I would never, even though I completely disagree with Keir Starmer and I completely disagree with Angela Rayner, I would never come out and say disgusting and vile things about them, because they are deserving of respect. If they died in a manner that way, they have still run our country. They've still been in positions of power. They still deserve a level of respect, regardless of if I agree with them or not. So I don't understand how the left can come out with such vitriol, right? Because human beings, decent human beings, understand that this was an appalling situation. Matthew, you read about...
there's been a quite a well-known tweet, X post that went viral from a transgender activist who once stood as a Labour Party candidate and later joined the Green Party. So,
right.
And the response was, now I believe this was before, it was between the time that we were informed that she'd passed away and murder.
Oh, right, okay, sure.
I think I might be wrong on that, but and some good news for once. I hope it was an extremely painful death. Heather Herbert, a man who identifies as a woman. And, I mean, what is there to say about that? That you would disagree with someone's politics so vehemently that you would think that is an okay thing to say publicly?
Yeah. It's mind-blowing. I mean, I think he said as well that he hoped that she was handcuffed to her bed.
Oh, yeah. Like, huh?
I can't get my brain around it. Like, where is the human decency? Who on earth brought you up? Because you were dragged up. I mean, you are a disgusting human being to say such an awful thing about this precious old woman who did so much for her country. You didn't have to agree with her, but she did accomplish so much for her nation, and you can come out with that level of disgustingness.
But it's the same vitriol that we saw from the left with the Charlie Kirk murder. People were going to Halloween parties, it was a month or so after, with the Freedom T-shirt with blood everywhere, just like they were, as Charlie Kirk being murdered as a Halloween costume. But this is the level of tolerance and love for everyone, apart from anyone who might disagree with anything you say.
In light of the Charlie Kirk murder and the response, and now with Ann Whitcomb, I can understand how Adolf Hitler took over Nazi Germany, right? He made it Nazi Germany. Because if you can get the propaganda to change the way that people think, right, which is what's happening on the left right now, then violence doesn't seem a bad form of silencing people. And that's how Hitler took over Germany. This is how he persuaded the German people to oust the Jews, was because he had put propaganda in and changed the way that they viewed things so that now death of those grouping of people, of the Jews, of the gypsies, or the disabled, didn't seem like a bad form or bad action to take, to silence the noise, to get rid of these people. And this is what's happening again. You get people dressing up as Charlie Kirk, celebrating his death because now he's silent. Well, actually, because it was recorded, he's louder than ever. But it just, I don't know, it screams far left socialism, communism. It's just the most disgusting way of thinking. And if you are of that level of thinking, my God, I pray for your soul, because it's absolutely disgusting. Now, a lot of celebrities have come out, and some news people as well, some podcasters, famous podcasters, who have completely inept of language when trying to describe Anne. I think one described her as a virgin, an old maiden. I mean, talk about insensitive. But there was one actor that came out on X, and I loved what he said. I'll read it word for word. And it's from actor James Dreyfus. He said, probably worth bearing in mind that other religions are available, whose views on homosexuality remain far more worrisome than anything she believed. She had many gay friends who didn't necessarily agree with her on everything, but were intelligent enough to understand that mild disapproval due to her religious convictions was not a barrier to years of friendship, laughter, and mutual admiration. What a phenomenal statement. The fact that he can outline and say that she had friends who lived a lifestyle that she didn't agree with, but there was a mutual respect, a mutual admiration that wasn't based on what they disagreed on, it was based on what they agreed on. Wow, if people actually behaved that way, this world would be phenomenally changed, right? To have a conversation, not to have this accusatory, which the left do. You only have to look at my Facebook comments. They're accusatory. Even when they're asking you a question, it's an accusatory question. They're not asking you because they genuinely want to know. They are genuine, coming in humility, asking, well, how did you come to that conclusion? Why did you say this in that manner? No, they're accusing you. And, you know, I always take umbrage at people who accuse, because my beliefs in the Bible says that Satan is the accuser of the brethren. And so anybody that comes to you in an accusatory manner, I think it's just evil. Matthew, what do you think?
That people demand the answers from you.
Yeah.
And they're looking for something to get back at you. But that's what we see in the left. Going back to the comment from James Dreyfus,
Yes.
I think that's wonderful. He's a gay man himself.
Yes.
But being able to see, look, the world isn't just this black and white, is it? You know, you can form friendships with people you disagree with.
Yeah.
And that can be a really mutually beneficial thing to both parties.
Yes.
And just to see or pick up on one thing that Anne Widdecombe believed in, and to use that to say, oh, she was this homophobic, horrible old spinster lady. You know, again, it's not a genuine thing that anyone with a heart, I think, should be saying. It's just awful.
It just comes to something when people, if I disagree with your lifestyle, you know, I've done this on previous podcasts about what I disagree in, that almost I'm against you now. That's not true. Just because I disagree with you doesn't mean I'm against you. Disagreeing is okay. You have to disagree with each other, because you're not going to all have the same morals, the same values, the same belief system. Sometimes those are very similar. Sometimes they're very far apart. However, I'm not going to be against you just because your lifestyle is different to mine, just as I have a belief system that's different to yours. I'm not going to be against you. The same as with the Muslims. You know, I talk a lot on Islam.
Yeah.
I'm not against Muslims. And I think this is the thing. I'm not against Muslims. I'm against Islam. I'm against the ideology. But Muslims, the people, I'm not against them. I disagree with them. But I'm not against them. Same with homosexuality. I disagree with it. I disagree with the lifestyle. Am I against them? No. Of course I'm not. So I think we've lost our intelligence. I think, you know, James Dreyfus said that perfectly. Intelligent people know how to have friendships and disagree. And it's just a mark of a lack of intelligence when people don't know how to do that. And maybe we need to start teaching that in schools rather than this tolerant of this and tolerant of that. No, let's teach them how to be friends with people and disagree with them at the same time. That used to be what we did. Any other comments on this matters? I know it's been a big topic we've been talking about personally.
Yeah, people need to find that middle ground on issues of morality, don't they?
Yeah.
It's not black and white.
No.
Like that. Why can't people just go, oh, flipping heck, that was awful. Yeah, we disagreed, but bless her, and may she rest in peace.
Absolutely, because we would have said the same thing about anybody on the left. Anybody with different opinions to ours would have been the same thing. So don't look to the left, don't look to the right. Look at Britain. Don't be a lefty.